Hey, what is going on, guys? Hex Combative back in today with a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about some high school DxD. This may be uploaded on the same day as the previous video or the day after, but regardless, we're getting back-to-back days and or the 2-for-1 on a single day. But we're going to be talking about why high school DxD works, why it's something that's not broken like, I guess, Mesa Gakun to a lot of fans, and or, I guess, ruined to be the better word. Like other shows, even Hajime no Gal, some seem to think, even though I did enjoy this, the show. So why, are shows that are similar not near as popular? And I mean, a lot of people I think would point to the girls and like, oh, the fan service and those girls are just too perfect. I mean, look how they're drawn. And I would say you're wrong, but you're still right. Because I think the girls actually are, two things that really, kind of elevate them over other, I guess, harem series per se. And the first one is being that the girls they actually have a personality to them that a lot of people can like, and each girl is different. No girl in this show or I guess in the Occult Research Club is actually the same. I mean, look at, Rosvisa. Who is she similar as? Noah, she is her own character. Rias, no, she's that strong, independent girl. Akano, she's a girl, this foxy girl that seems as if she's really, independent, kind of like Rias, but no, she's actually really a girl that's soft on the inside. And we see that whenever she's with Issei. Zenovi, she's a girl that's totally different than any. She may be the most different out of all the girls because she's never lived a life like the other girls. She didn't even know what recreational activity was. She even explained how she basically lived an isolated life. Ozzy, of course, she's no one's like Ozzy and Konako. I don't have to go into those two characters, and I think you guys know that. So the biggest thing about this is High School DxD knows what it is. It did not try to pretend and or act like it did not know what it was. It knows it's this comedy show, but yet I think the biggest thing about High School DxD is actually its transitions. And it's able to go from a comedic moment, like let's go to season 2, Volley versus Issei, and Issei's screaming these just absurd things. I think that's what's made, that's what makes it so funny, that it kind of breaks the barrier of this dialogue. There's a couple shows that do that, and one recently would be, A Little Sister's All You Need, or A Sister's All You Need. That's from this season. I've noticed this dialogue it's just so different, so vulgar, actually, to put it, I guess nicely. That's just something else. It's something weird, but, High School DxD is a show that it's just so far out there that it works, it's so far-fetched that it works, and I can't put my finger on why that is, but I mean, a lot of you guys have probably experienced other shows that are the same way. Its dialogue just works. Snafu, its dialogue's really based on ideology, something that we haven't really truly seen on a lot of shows. I mean, Classroom of Elite was kind of like that too, right? It's similar to Snafu, and there's other shows like, let's look at Gintama, it's just shonen, but its dialogue is quite different than other shonens like Fairy Tail, Bleach, and Naruto, all those kind of things. I mean, that's why Aizen worked. His dialogue was totally different. And I think the comedic aspect of the show, High School DxD, that's why it works so well. Its dialogue is its own. If you were to, I guess, put a piece of paper down, someone typed it up, and they quoted a bunch of different shows that were similar to High School DxD, right? I guarantee you'd be able to point High School DxD out on that sheet of paper. You'd be like, well, that's a High School DxD quote. I know that. Or if it wasn't a High School DxD quote, so let's say you haven't seen some of the episodes and they quoted it, but you've seen the first 3 seasons. Let's say season 4 is out and no one knew it. Some people saw it. There's some, quotes from it and they just wrote them down. If there's a big sheet of paper, you would probably be able to guess that because it has its own identity. Even though there's so many shows that are similar to it, they're not quite like it. And I think the biggest thing with Issei is he's such a likable character, and he's not just your typical harem character to it. He's actually a layered character, which is unique. We know he's just this perverted kid, but at the same time, he's just someone who cares deeply about his friends. He's someone who actually does want to be stronger in order to protect his friends. He did not want to be thrust into this, but he did get thrust into it, and he's taken step by step to improve, develop himself, and that's something that people are drawn to, because at the first season, until Volley said, showed up and stated, I think you're not trying. Whenever he's talking about all these things and just degrading Issei in season 2 just before they start fighting, he's like, hey, I think you should try harder. And you see how that catches Issei off guard. And I think it caught a lot of us, the audience, off guard, because we did not expect that. We didn't expect the harem series to take that route. And High School DxD really kind of separated itself because it did give it this serious tone just in time, essentially, before it truly established what it was. It was, hey, we're going to be 90% comedy, 95% comedy, but we're going to be 10 to 5% serious. And that's something that, that's really, I think, what did it. It really just established itself right there. And I mean, let's look at Gintama. Gintama established itself through the first, like, 50 episodes, which I do think was too long. I think you got to establish yourself sooner, but it's still a great series. I'm currently in the, in the midst of watching it right now. But we knew what its identity was early on. It established itself as it's a comedy first. You're going to get some cool action, but hey, it is what it is, and hey, you're gonna recognize what it is, and you're gonna like it for what it is. And if you don't, you don't. I mean, that's kind of how High School DxD was, right? It's the same thing. It's 90% comedy, 5%, 10% serious. And when the thing that really surprised me about High School DxD is its art, and it's animation, which is really damn good. And that's weird to even say for a harem series. Why is it even that good? It's not the greatest in the world, but it's definitely really above average. I mean, have you seen the way the opie bounces in the show, for God's sake? No, but okay, really, I'm not kidding, but it's pretty nuts. I wonder how much they actually spent on that animation for that. But other than that, I mean, just look at some of the fighting scenes. It's cool. I mean, the magic circles, just the volley versus Issei fight. I mean, all these different things. Loki trying to start Ragnarok. There's a bunch of animation going on there. So I mean, just look at these things, and these are a couple things I feel as if this is why DxD is what it is. It established what it was early on, and that's why people were drawn to it. It didn't try to be around the bush. It said, hey, we're a perverted comedy, but yet at the same time, we do have a little bit of seriousness to it, and our characters aren't actually single layered, not all of them. So you could argue for some, sure, like an Azia, and I mean, I guess kind of Konako is something else, because Konako is a character that was really essentially this is quiet girl. Similar to Zenobia, but understood society better. Did not live an isolated life. But then we find out later on that she's a girl that she acts the way she does because she doesn't want people to find out that she's a necromanta, right? I mean, that's one of the coolest things about it. So that's really cool to see. And let's hop on to Zenobia. She's just kind of like Konako, really similar, but we find out she lived an isolated life. She's always part of the church, and there's these little quirks about her. And mainly for her, it's seeing her develop. Literally every season, Zenobia's always getting development because you see how she acted before she became a part of the Occult Research Club, and then you see whenever she was, has become a part of the Occult Research Club. I mean, take a look at the time where they get back on from the underworld on their somewhat of a class trip, quote unquote, but hint, I mean, it wasn't a class trip, but Rias like to call it that. She's complaining and freaking out about this homework and stuff like that. Earlier, she would have not had that reaction. She would have been like, damn, I'd have to get this homework done. But she would not have had that reaction, kind of rubbing her hair and just freaking out. I mean, there's so many different signs where Zenobia is developing. I mean, she talks about all these things about having a child and stuff like that, but she thinks it's just for power. But then she realizes, no, there's a little bit more to it than that. They don't like other girls don't like Issei because of his power. They like him because he's a great man, and she's learning these things about society. Rias, she doesn't really have much development. I mean, I like her character, but she's not really layered. She may be the least layered. Her and Azia may be really the least layered out of the group. We still have a question mark on Ross Visa, but I mean, at the same time, even the characters that aren't very layered have at least cool backgrounds, better than harem series. I'll tell you that right now. So I mean, let's hop on Akano. She's a girl that I'll reiterate myself really quick. She is a girl who was not supposed to be anything special. She's just some foxy girl that you'd think was just there for the fan service. But we find out that she hates fallen angels because her father wasn't there whenever her mother got attacked. We find that out. We learn these things, and that's the biggest thing. They're the backgrounds and the couple layers they have, not many. Some they're definitely one-dimensional, one-layered characters, but at the same time, they're still characters that aren't just singly layered. Not all of them, at least. And I mean, you hop on to Issei, we find he's a kid. Once again, I'll reiterate this one more time. He's not just a pervert. He's a kid who actually does want to become stronger after volley. And I think I made the video about volley and his rivalry. I think that kind of elevates his character. Season 2, once again, right? It goes back to that. I think you're not trying hard enough. And it's a wake-up call for Issei. And we see him develop. We see him not just take this as a joke. We see him not just, be around all these girls and just soak it in anymore like he did in season 1 and like he did in the first half of season 2, right? And or second half of season 2, basically, and up until the end volley showed up. We see him still doing that. We see him making steps forward. That's why he's able to use the Red Dragon Emperor mode now, right? So we see all these different things, and that's just something a lot of shows don't do. and a lot of harems. A lot of harem series don't do, and that's why actually I regard High School DxD as a show that I generally like. It's a show that I refuse to put in my top 10, just like a Naruto, Bleach, because it's special to me. It has that, I guess, that significance, that special kind of value. I mean, shows like Seikano kind of have that special value for me too. I just can't, honestly admit I like something better than that because the entertainment value I actually get from them. Sometimes you can have a show that's bad, and I'm not saying High School DxD is. I've already stated I really like that show, but it's so not even bad that's entertaining. It's just so entertaining that's so entertaining. And I mean, Fairy Tail, people talk about, I know some of the writing shaky at times, sure, but I mean, the anime kind of covered all the stuff that people really liked about the show. It's what's to come, but I tell you what, I'm gonna love every second of it because that show just makes me so entertained. It makes me, I'm so connected to some of the characters because I've seen them go on these adventures. In High School DxD, it's just like the same way, man. I've seen them do all these different things. I feel as if I truly know the characters. Issei, I feel as if I'm truly connected with him because, let's be honest, 95% of the guys think like that guy. Let's be honest. We have those moments. We may not say it, but we may think a lot like him. We can relate to him because of that. So, as always, guys, I'm going to end the video here. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, X25, and check out my Patreon down in the description below if you want to support and help what I do. So, as always, guys, see you guys next time. Peace. Thanks for watching, guys.